A very warm welcome to our This News Hour. I'm Solomon Danye. Thanks for joining me. The joint military operation underway in Mekelle by the Defense Forces and the Federal Police laid its hands on a 300-meter-long underground tunnel secretly constructed by Debretsion Gebremichael, the embattled leader of the TPLF. The tunnel, all concrete made, it was disclosed, was constructed in the premises of Debretsion's office. A back door of the former regional deputy president's office leads to the cave, thus helping him to escape. The Federal Police learned that Debretsion used the cave to escape during his last televised warmongering address. Our This News Hour will bring you the full account of this story during its evening broadcast beginning at 9 p.m. The Prime Minister's office disclosed that the active phase of the military operation has ended. In a statement issued yesterday, the office said the current task of the federal government mainly includes bringing fugitives to justice, restoring law and order, and guaranteeing citizens unfettered access to humanitarian assistance. Kasan Jane presents the story as follows.
After the capture of Mekelle, the regional capital of Tigray, without civilian casualties and destruction of property, the criminal clique warned, and so many in the media echoed, the active phase of the military operations has come to an end. The current task of the federal government mainly includes bringing fugitives to justice, restoring law and order, guaranteeing our citizens in the affected areas have unfettered access to humanitarian assistance, resetting and rehabilitating those who've been forced to cross borders, and restoring transport and communication services that have been destroyed and disrupted by the criminal clique. The criminal clique pushed a patently false narrative that air's fighters and supports are battle-hardened and well-armed, posing the risk of protracted insurgency in the rugged mountains of Tigray. It also claimed that it has managed to undertake strategic retreat with all air's capability and regional government apparatus intact. The reality of the criminal clique is truly defeated and in disarray, with insignificant capability to mount a protracted insurgency. Using lies and anarchy as a political weapon may have worked during the clique's days of guerrilla warfare, but it is a lesson the hardliners within the criminal clique have failed to unlearn. The clique cannot be a reliable partner to the worthy cause of creating a more just and equitable Ethiopian if they themselves are fiercely resistant to accommodate any change. More than anything else, ordinary Tigrayans seek for inclusive and equitable growth, peace, freedom, and security. In the absence of a legitimate and just cause, sustaining a protracted insurgency is near impossible, particularly by a disgruntled and reactionary clique that has few allies inside and outside. The criminal clique also wanted to internationalize the conflict by spouting endless false accusations as a last-ditch attempt to force international mediation as a way out of accountability and justice. The notion that the criminal group cares about the well-being of civilians is anomalous to its inherent being. A group that began its campaign of destruction with treasonous murder of members of the National Defense Force, then proceeded with the purging of civilians in Maikadra, while at the same time launched indiscriminate weapons of destruction to densely populated cities in Bahar Dar and Gondar, used civilians and kidnapped members of the military as human shields, can claim no moral authority to express concern for the well-being of civilians. And its 3 decades-old history military in power is replete with civilians suffering and mass atrocities. The protection and security of all our citizens remains an essential priority for the federal government, working closely with relevant humanitarian agencies and United Nations partners. The government is actively working to extend protection and humanitarian assistance to those who are impacted by the current law enforcement operations, including to non-Ethiopians who are hosted in refuge camps and host communications in Tigray. The government will return, resettle and rehabilitate Ethiopian refugees in a short period of time. It is to be recalled that the government signed an agreement with the United Nations for an enhanced coordination mechanism for humanitarian access that will enable partners to assist affected population effectively and impartially with a well-coordinated framework led by the federal government. The federal government wishes to underline that the safety and well-being of our citizens remains our utmost priority.
That was Kasan Jane presenting a full statement of Office of the Prime Minister. The Permanent Mission of Ethiopia to the United Nations Office and international organizations in Geneva got informed on the unfolding law enforcement oppression in Tigray regional state of Ethiopia. Accordingly, the residents noted that with support and appreciation since 2018, Ethiopia is undergoing a profound transformation which cuts across political, economic and social areas, and the leadership of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, whose efforts were recognized through the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize Award. The Ethiopians also recalled that since 2018, the belligerent ethno-nationalist group under the name of Tigrayan People's Liberation Front has been conducting and sponsoring destabilizing actions across the nation. Meanwhile, they stated that the Supreme Army has repeatedly called upon the TPLF leadership to cease its destabilizing conduct and to become a force of peace and development so far. They further accentuated that standing with the government of Ethiopia in its commitment to uphold rule of law in Ethiopia's Tigray region by undertaking a legitimate law enforcement operation, condemning the TPLF and Tigrayan militias of a series of crimes and mass murders of Amhara people carried out in the town of Maikadra as evidenced by the Ethiopian Human Rights Council and Amnesty International is critically important. Moreover, Ethiopians call upon the international community, the diplomatic community in Geneva, and the Swiss government to support the Ethiopian government in its operations to restore rule of law to ensure lasting peace in the Tigray region, bringing the TPLF perpetrators to justice and pursue the path to development and democratization. The residents also stressed that the international media entities and international organizations to thoroughly investigate and verify the information and be aware of TPLF agents spreading misinformation on the legitimate law enforcement operation. And they finally called upon the international community and humanitarian aid agencies to provide help on the unfolding emergency food need and logistic support to refugees and displaced persons. Women soldiers in the National Defense Force are keenly discharging their responsibilities to purge the TPLF junta from the state of Tigray. The women have played a significant role in the law enforcement operation. It was learned after more.
Soldier Luka Bebe is one of the members of the Northern Command, and she remembers what happened on 13th October 2020.
በጊዜው ያው ወደ ኤርትራ ነው እኛ እዚህ ያለው ወታደር እንዴትስ እጅን ሰጣለን በሚል በጣም ውስጣችን ተናደው ተሰምቶን ነበር ማለት ነው ግን እዛ ሄደን ተደረገ
After the Northern Command attacked, we retreated to Eritrea. At that moment, we were sad because of TPLF provoking attack. Then we got organized well and returned back. We have traveled for 16 hours at that moment. After 3 days in Eritrea, we returned into Tekeze River checkpoints. The travel was difficult and boring. We were eager to fight with the TPLF force bravely. At the end, we are in a good position.
Talking to TV, women soldiers in the National Defense Force expressed they are keenly discharging their responsibilities to make clear the state of Tigray from TPLF junta.
We are ready and committed to restore peace and stability in the state of Tigray. I am sure we don't give up. I can work not less than main soldiers always.
We are
ready to bring independence to the people of Tigray. We are also ready to move towards with civilians. Every woman soldier strong and committed to finalize this war.
የሴቶች ሚና በዚህ ላይ በጣም ደስ የሚል ነው። እኔ በጣም ከምር ለመናገር እንደ ክፍለ ጦሩም በየትኛውም በኩል ሳያቸው
Women soldiers have been playing unprecedented role to restore peace and stability in the state of Tigray. Truly speaking, women soldiers are working equal with men in the Northern Command. It's extraordinary performance. I myself carry heavy artillery in this campaign. We're helping each other and no women left behind.
የሴቶች ተጋድሎ እንደተነገረው እንዲበቀላሉ እንደዚህ ነው ብለ የምትገልጸው ነገር አይደለም
It's difficult to express bravery of women soldiers in the Northern Command. They are very strong and a symbol of victory. They are relentlessly working to demolish the three TPLF mafias. They are model for us. Women can make history to the nation. Women soldiers are vital for men fighters to bring victory.
ሰራች ያለችበት ሁኔታ ነው ያለው
በፊታውን ፕሮፌሽናል ሙያ ተደርጎ አይቆጠርም ነበር ውትድርና ግን ብቁ የሆነች ሴት
In the previous time, a soldier was not respected as a professional like others. Now our institution is promoting and supporting them to be qualified soldiers. Women in this institution have exemplary potential.
The bravery of women soldiers is believed to be instrumental to restore peace and stability to the region.
Petrol station owner in Raya Kobo offered his oil depot to the National Defense Force to use it for the coming 6 months. The support is believed to be inspiring the fighting spirit of the military force. Alwat Klamaran presents the full account.
Nuriya Mohammed is a businessman in Kobo town of the Maharashtra state. He willingly granted his oil terminal to the National Defense Force for the coming 6 months.
Nothing in this earth is bigger than peace. We can only live and work through peace. These soldiers are our brothers and deserve much more respect as they have families like us. They left their families to fight for us. Let alone Ethiopia, their home country, they have been fighting for different countries to liberate marginalized people. Accordingly, I offered my oil terminal to help ease the fight against the TPLF junta. As you see it, this oil depot is big and has been providing a wide range of service. I was earning more than 150,000 birr per month out of this business. I prioritize my country's interests than my personal income when I decided to offer this terminal to the National Defense Force. None of us could generate even a small amount of money in the absence of peace.
Members of the National Defense Force said the gift would help them achieve their mission.
This is a big deal where others should follow the step to support us. This is such an inspiring support among the National Defense Force, and I hope many other Ethiopians will follow this good deed.
Ethiopians are urged to continue backing the National Defense Force in different aspects.
Ethiopia's minister in charge of democratization, Zadig Abraha, said the government is providing humanitarian assistance properly in the northern parts of Ethiopia. Responding to ETV, Zadig also indicated that TPLF is incapable of waging insurgency. Goshimalizo has more.
Talking to ETV on current affairs, Zadig Abraha said the government is providing humanitarian assistance properly in the northern parts of Ethiopia for those displaced amid security threat.
All these sacrifices are paid in order to free the Tigray people from TPLF atrocities. Many have lost their lives. This victory has been gained by precious life sacrification. The government has no interest to harm its citizens. It's providing humanitarian assistance properly in collaboration with international aid agencies for those who are displaced in security threat from their home.
According to Zadig, in addition to providing humanitarian assistance to citizens, the government is exerting efforts to repair damaged infrastructures by TPLF.
The government prioritizes preparing damaged infrastructures by TPLF and delivery services. In addition to hunting criminals, the federal government is working aggressively to ensure all citizens not to face humanitarian crisis. Things are going well as scheduled and victories are registered daily. We are repairing the electric and telecom lines so as to deliver service to the public.
Zadig says TPLF is incapable of waging an insurgency.
TPLF is incapable of waging an insurgency due to technological advancement, and the world politics is basically changed. So, it's difficult to undergo protracted guerrilla fighting. The government strategy, in any perspective, does not create conducive atmosphere. The Tigray people have no shoulder to carry this clique. The people have been welcoming the defense force in liberated areas. This shows how much the people are tired of the junta. So, TPLF is incapable of insurgency. It's a daydream.
The National Defense Force now controls Tigray and is now working to bring the rebel leaders to justice.
Residents of Shire town in the state of Tigray expressed calmness as they return to their daily activities after the town is under control by the National Defense Force. However, they have urged the government to address the issue of access to electric power, telecommunication and financial institutions. Jerusalem Azar reports.
In Ethiopia's history, the people of Tigray have been an extraordinary role to preserve the country's sovereignty. But TPLF clique has been striving to demolish the history of the nation over the past 2 decades through creating ethnic-based violences in all parts of the country. Following the heinous attack on the National Defense Force based in the Northern Command, the Ethiopian National Defense Force has been taking a law enforcement operation against TPLF. On this move, Shire town is among towns of Tigray, which comes under control by Ethiopian Defense Force. Getachew Tesfaye is a resident of Shire town and he expressed the wrong deeds of TPLF in this way.
I said TPLF is like a dinosaur for all Ethiopians. We have to avoid these evil juntas from our country. We don't have freedom at all. We all have many painful histories because of these TPLF mafia groups. I am a footballer, but I was banned from any sport activity because I'm not a supporter of this party. How come sport and politics are treated in the same way? But now we feel good and free after the National Defense Force controlled our town. I can criticize any political party now, either TPLF or Prosperity Party.
We are moving freely in town. There is no problem now. At this moment, there is no security threat in this region. We need to get access to banks and electricity services. I am now returning from mosque. I hope there is no problem in the future.
I came from Wolkite. Now I'm moving freely when the National Defense Force took the town. Previously, the people were in fear of the condition, but there was no problem. I can't speak Tigrinya language, but farmers and localities are hospitable.
If we have eyes and ears that can see and listen, we have better peace after the Ethiopian Defense Force entered in the town. Everything is peaceful. We have better peace in Shire. Thus, everyone can see this hard fact.
I'm coming from church now. Thanks to God, we are moving freely and peacefully. I hope God help us to maintain the ongoing peace in the future. We need peace for Ethiopia.
The Tigray Interim Administration has been striving for instituting its administration in the areas liberated from the junta. Last week, an interim administration elected by the residents was formed in Shire town.
I am here in Shire town, which is the biggest town in Tigray state. Following to the town is under control by the National Defense Force. Residents of the town have been working their day-to-day activities peacefully, but I have observed here there are lack of access to electric power, telecommunication service, and financial institutions are also closed. So they urge to the government to find a solution swiftly, aside with the law enforcement operation in Tigray state, including Shire town.
The launch of Gabeta for Nation initiative in Gorgora town will make the city more beautiful and entertaining. It will also play an important role in creating job opportunities for the residents. West Dembia district, where the city is located, is undertaking preparatory activities to support the initiative. Emmanuel Jorge presents the story.
There are many historical sites around Lake Tana. Gorgora town is one of them, which is found in 60 kilometers from Gondar, having many historical heritage. A historian from town, Ayela, says that these sites make all Ethiopians look back history, learn from it, and remind what their role will be in their lifetime.
Each of these heritages have significant role historically, especially there are monasteries which are built in medieval age. And also these monasteries tell us a long history of our country. For instance, the first monastery of Dege Stephanos is a place where the bodies of kings in the medieval age are found. And other several heritages are found here like crowns, holy crosses, gifts of kings in different time and the like. All these heritages prove that our country existed as a sovereign nation throughout ages.
Gorgora town, incorporating the Palace of Emperor Sucinius, statue of Mussolini, and other tourist attraction sites, is among cities included in Gabeta for Nation initiative. Accordingly, the inclusion of the city in Gabeta for Nation initiative gave a great help for the local community. Moreover, the scenery of Lake Tana makes it more preferable for tourism.
Now we are hopeful than before that our city will be developed, investment activities will be held in our city, and also many job opportunities will be created for the youth. Many tourists will visit Gorgora, so our community will be benefited from this.
I feel like we will see what developed countries have seen sooner. Even I feel like we already have started to live that life only with hope while the work has not begun yet.
West Dembia district noted that they are working on prerequisites for the execution of the project.
Even though we are not certain about where the project is going to be constructed exactly, but engineers are surveying in different selected sites. We are facilitating this work together with engineers who have expertise on the issue. We are working on freeing privately owned plots by giving compensations and substitutes for landowners jointly with professionals from the regional and federal government.
In addition to Gorgora, Wenche and Kwesha are among the projects planned in Gebeta for Nation initiative.